So this was just popping on Twitter in the last 10 minutes or so, reading from the Spectator Index. It's a news data. They cover global politics, economics, blah, blah, blah. They tweeted, just in, Jeff Bezos set to sell $5 billion worth of Amazon stock. Now, I just raise an eyebrow because, of course, we find out just a few days ago that Whit Grousbeck looking to sell his shares, his ownership in the Celtics. $5 billion, as Jay Stu just said. What? That's almost enough to buy the Celtics outright.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Wouldn't you love to have that sort of flexibility? Say, yeah, you know what? Let me just liquidate $5 billion of it.
Oh, you mean you don't, Tony?
No, I mean, no problem. I was looking up net worth just out of curiosity because I'm like, what is the number now? $214 billion. So it's like let me it's like going to the guy at the counter and saying, here's a 5. Can you give me 5 ones? Seriously, that is good cake.
Well, I tie that into, I saw our buddy Jimmy Shapiro, who is a tout, does odds, bet online. And we are sponsored by the DraftKings Sportsbook, by the way, so I'm sure you can find these odds on the DraftKings Sportsbook as well. But sent out odds on the next Celtics majority owner. Here's the odds-on favorites. The odds-on favorite, number 1 right now, is Larry Ellison, 2-1. You guys know who Larry Ellison is?
He's a software developer, wasn't he?
Oracle,
yeah, that's what
Oracle,
yeah.
Wow, okay.
Okay, so the Oracle guy. Number 2, Steve Pagliuca at 3-1.
Okay, not surprised.
Third is Abigail Johnson, the heir and the Fidelity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, local ownership, 4-1. At 5-1, Jeremy Jacobs. At 6-1, Fenway Sports Group.
Boo.
At 8-1, Jeff Bezos. And maybe he's about to move up. At 12-1, Steve Cohen.
Oh, I love that.
At 16-1, guess who, Murray?
Felger and Maz.
Tom Brady? Tom Brady maybe putting a bunch of people together?
Nope. A certain owner who employs a certain cat wagon down in Texas.
Get out of here.
Jones.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would be I need to get me some Celtics. Have you seen the tail at NBA games, especially All-Star games? Hot dang. I got to get me some of that. Oh,
and I wouldn't be shocked if it's Dallas.
That would be incredible.
Jerry Jones is at 16-1 with Rob Walton. Refresh my memory on Rob Walton.
Well, the Walton family is Walmart. So
okay.
Anytime you hear Walton, that's Walmart money.
Okay, Rob Walton. Yes, Walmart. At 16, at 21 is Robert Kraft. Okay, so Robert Kraft is behind Jerry Jones on this. And then it gets stupid. I don't know why I'm not in for jokes. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, 22-1. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, 22-1. Dana White, 25-1.
Oh, now that's silly. Well, Dana White could probably do it, considering he runs and owns the UFC.
Okay, so but Mike, of all the local ownership among sports people now, I'm not counting Fidelity, and the highest one on the list is the Jacobs.
That's right.
Okay, well, it makes sense, I guess, for the building, right?
Well,
but
yeah. I mean, there's like a leverage point there. There's a keen interest on Jacobs' part, and that is if someone else buys the Celtics and builds their own building, and even if they have a lease for another 12 years or so. But 12 years is 12 years. Charlie's going to be around in 12 years. I mean, it's still going to be in the family in 12 years. If someone buys the Celtics and wants out of that lease or builds a new arena, that's a lost tenant. So does Jacobs just keep the tenant to keep keep that business? If for nothing else, or just leverage the building. I don't know. But he's up there. He's up there 5-1 with the serious guys. Larry Ellison, Steve Pagliuca. Holly and Chris Gasper last night seemed to think it's like almost, they didn't say these words, I'm saying these words, in the bag for Pagliuca. They think it's like he's the odds-on favorite, and for all intents and purposes, it's just going to Pagliuca. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I could live with it, given, he's been around since Wick, and he were buying the team back in 2002, and it would lend credence to my theory yesterday that, okay, the Tatum signing, that was a given because of his status in the league, and these max deals are going to happen. But all these other ancillary moves and the money that's been thrown around, to me, that reeks of you already have a deal and you know who the buyer is going to be. Well, wouldn't that make sense? Again, Steve's been around the team. He knows it. He'd greenlight all that and say, fine, yeah, and it's me and this other group we're going to put together. They're going to be the big owners of this team now. So I don't know. At least common sense would make that make sense to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm not. I think actually it'd be a pretty good outcome for the Celtics because I think Pagliuca cares. I also think he's not an attention hog, and he cares about basketball in the little bit that I understand. I don't know him that well. I've met him like once or twice tops, but the people that do know him say he's kind of a quiet, sort of understated background kind of guy. And but it feels to me like he's interested in winning. There's no way to guarantee that. He played at Duke, I think, so he's, I think he cares about basketball. Like, those are things to me that would matter. So, not bad.
We know that Pags doesn't care about attention because Wick keeps taking it away from him at different points in time, stealing the trophy away from him. Interview with us years ago where Wick is like, Pags, I'm not done yet. Let me finish my answer.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, he shushed him. Remember that?
Oh, God, we should play that again just for proof.
I also have heard that Pags has good political connections and could probably get a design done very quickly for a new arena for the Celtics. And I believe it would be down around the Prudential area.
Okay, so the design is not the issue. Okay, Jimmy, jeez. let me put the Prudential thing to aside for a second. I want to circle back to that. We did a whole show on it yesterday. But the issue in the new building is not the design. It's getting through all the politics of it, and how the Jacobs would fight you every step of the way, and how the Jacobs have a lot of the local politicians on their side.
I think Pags has a lot of them too.
Sure, so there'd be a good battle there. But like that's the game to me, not the design. Design. I mean, who could anyone come up with the design of a building? It's like we did this yesterday. No one's built a new building in this town for 100 years. I said the old Boston Garden, 1928, was like the last, and then it occurred to me, the Braves Stadium there at BU might have been built after Fenway Park, for all I know. Like it's been so long since anyone's been able to get something like that done here that's the issue. Copley? Where in Copley are we now?
They redesigned the Heinz Convention Center.
Yeah, maybe that the Heinz got phased out, eh?
I'll tell you what, it's an interesting concept.
And that's air rights over the pike, for all intents and purposes. That's what we've been talking about.
I mean, it's, if you think about it, the Madison Square Garden's built over a train station, right? Like it to me, it would have that kind of feel to it. Like you spill out onto Boylston Street the way you would onto 34th Street. Like, I kind of like it.
I'd be into it.
Yeah, good spot.
Yeah.
Fine spot for me. In the city, place that already exists. You're not building up like Celtic World in the middle of nowhere. It's all sort of new bars and restaurants that are, it's like being in Orlando. It's like drop it into a real place like that. I like that.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thought of it. Fine with me. But Pags would be a good result for Celtics fans who want something approaching Wick Grossbeck, right? I mean, wouldn't it be sort of like
continuity?
Yeah, they're partners. He's of a like mind. He's not exactly the same guy for sure. He's not. But I think he'd like to run the team in the same way. And do the things in the same fashion. They certainly came into it, of a like mind and have been operating it together a certain way. And so if you want the Celtics to run as they've been running and the ownership to be, of a like mind of the current ownership, Pagliuca would be the best guy to have for sure, wouldn't it? Like that would be a good result for Celtics fans.
Oh, I think so too, yeah. I mean, I think in a lot of ways it's a logical, perfect fit, which is why it'll never happen. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just doubt Pagliuca's ability to go toe-to-toe. If Bezos wants in, if Bezos wants it, how could Pagliuca possibly... I don't care, and I know Pagliuca's a businessman, and he's a deal maker, and he can bring guys in and generate capital and investors and all of it. I get it. But if Bezos wants it, how could Pagliuca possibly match what he could bring to the table?
No, he can't. Bezos has the kind of money you could buy a country or two.
So look, Ellison could come close, right? I was just looking at him. He's his net worth is approaching $200 billion. My only question with him, and not to get into this whole thing, isn't the arena where the Warriors play called Oracle Arena?
Yeah, that's just naming rights.
I guess. Yeah.
I know, but that's still
I believe it's the Chase Center now.
Oh,
okay. All right. So forgive me.
The old place was the Oracle. Right.
It just feels like a massive investment to basically support another team, and you would have to get out of that, I presume. I can't imagine you having money invested in another club when you own one. Like, I don't know. It feels like a conflict of interest to me is what I'm getting at.